Woza. It's Absa Football Fridays. Niyazi, Sla. Simphathele umphako for the weekend. My name is Umjaka. And as always, I'm here with Cheezboy Mokoena, Orlando Pirates legend. Absa Football Fridays proudly powered by Soccerbeat. We've got exclusives, Soccerbeat exclusives for you on Sihle Nduli of Orlando Pirates and as well as Mkhulise, Sphelele Mkhulise of Mamelodi Sundowns. Stick around. You want to hear that information. Exclusives, as I said, only brought to you by Soccerbeat. Of course, we're going to talk about the Carling Cup final, where Orlando Pirates will be facing Gallants. Cheezboy will let us know what he thinks and give us his predictions as well. Of course, also Bugazi is in the picture. And as always, Cheezboy has got that untold story. It's another special one. So, Soccerbeat family, you got to stick around for that. Cheesy, let's talk about the Carling Cup final. Pirates against Gallants. I know which side you'll be leaning on, but let's talk about Coach Wadu. Coach Wadu was called the plumber when he arrived, Cheesy. But he could win his second title this season already, his second trophy. How do you think he has done it?
Fetch, Mamela, Jara, I'll tell you, the thing is this. In the beginning, all of us will be saying, what, hey, plum by plum. He's already won on one domestic cup in the back, already on the second one. And it looks like Pirates is heading for this league title. Being number one on the lock has given the fans a lot of hope. So I think also what he has brought to the club is that, he has changed a lot of things. Not really a lot of things, but I think defensively, he has helped Orlando Pirates improve, because when they're on the attack, Pirates have always looked good. They've always been scoring goals. I think now there's a difference in a sense of how the team is defending now and not conceding too many goals. I give credit. I take my hat off for Coach Absa, and also the things that he has changed, the mentality of the players, the brotherhood of the players. Because you look at the players now for Orlando Pirates, they play as a team. Anybody gets a chance. There's rotation. We're not seeing the same lineup week in, week out, and it's always keeping the players on toes, which is something brilliant that we've never experienced, and now it's happening. That's why my partner jabulile mfethu. So going into this cup final, I'm sure he's going to make it number 2 for himself.
But Cheesy, give us your honest thoughts on Bugazi moving to the MLS. What do you think? How do you feel, Cheesy?
Look, I've always been an advocate for players moving abroad, Mjara, and there's been talks about it's not a good league, we should be moving to a better league. But at his age, I think it's great for him in terms of gaining experience as well. And just also being out of the country and go playing in a different league. I think that will also help him grow as a player because we do things differently. And don't forget, the MLS is also watched, eh? There are clubs that go to the MLS and get players. So it's a great opportunity for him. For as much as it's maybe does not have that much exposure, but for the boy as well, financially wise as well, I think it's in a good space for him to actually grow his career and also grow his family. Because as footballers, I'll tell him, yes, we want to play, but there's always been talks about we need to also make money out of this game, and I think Bugazi is on the right track. I'm happy for the boy. Fit. Mina ngijabulele TLP. Already I'm seeing in the socials, this is Chicago, they say, hey, we welcome in the TLP. But yes, TLP to show that people are now focusing into South African leagues, and focusing into the player, which is, the likes of Mbokazi. We had Ankota that just left. And also it's also Orlando Pirates saying that as a player, once the offer is good, we will release you and go and grab the opportunity.
The Carling Cup final could be Bugazi's last appearance in a Pirates shirt before he joins Chicago Fire in the MLS, Cheesy. Of course, that will happen after AFCON. Um, what's your message to him if you had an opportunity to talk to the TLB?
So, Mamela Mfethu, I think this game is just going to be a game whereby it's just going to be a farewell match, and it would be great that the team lifts the cup, for the boy. I mean, the boy has only just spent 2 seasons in Fit and already making a huge move. So I think it's a perfect time for him, to also say farewell to the fans, for being there for him, of course, coming from the MDC, he's been supported and been looked at from a very young age and given the opportunity. And he never disappointed, and he's already in the Bafana squad. He's moving abroad. Things are looking up for him. I think we can only wish the boy the best and wish that he grows as a player as well so that he can bring that experience back to the national team and also be an example for the youngsters that it is possible for you to make a move, even if it's just after 1 season or 2 seasons, because sometimes we worry about, I need more games, I need that. But if you are a quality player and you are at a certain level that other teams in Europe feel like, this player deserves to be here, you get that opportunity, So yeah, I think for him, the best thing for him right now is for him to lift this Carling Knockout Cup. I think that would be a good farewell for him. And of course, the fans surely they'll be coming out in numbers with banners, and wishing the boy luck and wishing him all the best, But yeah, we are surely going to miss him. But I think that's just part of the nature of football, Players come and go, and other players go into greener pastures.
Soccerbeat family, we gotta bring those exclusives to you. Cheesy, let's talk about Nduli and Mkhulise, exclusively brought to you by Soccerbeat. Of course, we found out that Nduli has recently had surgery for a serious injury, Cheesy. He's been a big player since he arrived. He came in there and looked the part in an Orlando Pirates shirt. Um, and the team continues to win even without him. Is it bad news for Pirates? What do you think, Cheesy?
Yeah, first of all, Fit, we are no player. We don't wish any player bad and wish any player to get injured. But it's part of football. It's part of the game. And sometimes in Jara, like I can tell you from experience, when I was also at my momentum, and you all of a sudden there's this injury that hits you, and you've always been starting the games. And fortunately for Pirates, I think that's why we've been saying the past seasons that they had to have depth in the squad, and it just shows because even when Dule is out with injury, you still have a cash that is also come that has just come back. We have a Mbata. So there's a lot of players that play in his position. That's why sometimes you don't see that he's not there. Same goes on when Cash was not there. The team was still doing well. Like I said, when you play for a big club, Mchara, it's not about the individual, but it's about the collective. And the players that get an opportunity, they grab it, with both hands, Mchara. So we can only wish Lule a speedy recovery, because also when you get a bit older, these injuries do come, Jara, because he's been playing week in, week out, It was unfortunate that he had that serious injury, but I can just only hope that he gets better and comes back and helps the club.
Kouli says always been a talking point. I know you love him as well, Cheese. His contract is expiring at Sundowns. We hear that there hasn't been progressive discussions, no deal in place. So probably a free agent by January. And any team can approach him. What's your thoughts on that, Cheese?
Yeah, well, I think for me it's sad, Mjara, because I mean, Kulis is one quality player, a product. When you talk about a product of Sundowns, because this boy got promoted when I was still at Sundowns, and I remember telling Sompo Kekana that this is going to be one of the club's legends, one of the players that's going to be, dazzling the Sundowns fans, and he has done that, and all the time, even when he's out of the game for so many games, when he comes back, he still gives a stellar performance. I think my only worry is also this is that I understand how they recruit players now. Maybe it has changed, the recruitment plan has changed, but I feel for a player like Mkhulise because I feel in that squad he still has a spot. I feel like he still has a spot to play. I don't know Mchara. Maybe it might sound like I'm searching for things, but we're having a lot of South American players that are playing in Mkhulise's position in fact, and I feel the boy is far far better than him. Okay, sharp. Nama Brazilian. Are we gonna make this team? All of them, they must all be Brazilians, South Americans. Let's not also forget our own. Mkhulise is a young boy. I love him so much. Peter has been so excellent on and off the field in Jaga. And we are people Malomfana fit. So, but if the move has to happen in Jaga, you know, I think he is probably going to end up with a smaller team. Maybe a Chiefs. If I'm looking at a bigger team, I think maybe a Chiefs. They could get something out of him, because they have number tens and sixes, but he could give them a different dimension as well. Because at Pirates already, you're looking at a team that's got a lot of players. I mean, I'm talking 40 Kapla. So when is he going to get the chance to play? We don't want that thing that happened to that player that came from Sundown that played at Black Leopards. We all know him, but didn't get enough game time at Pirates. So, but I still like to see Mkhulise play, man. It's sad because I'm sure in his mind, he's always had this thing of I want to be part of the AFCON, I want to be part of the World Cup. And when you're not playing, you don't get the chance. But if the move is there, and it's a good move. I'd appreciate that the boy makes the move because we still want to see him in action, Mjagai. It's a waste of him just sitting there and getting the salary. I know the money is good, Mjaga. I know I not this in Kolata. So sometimes as players we get comfortable. They understand what I'm gonna get paid. I'll come to training. If they play me, they don't play me. So it's going to be up to him and his agent what they want to do.
Now, Cheesy, let's get to that Untold story. What you got for us this week? Untold story, of course, brought to you by Absa, proudly powered by Soccerbeat. Cheesy, let us know what you got for us. I'm so excited.
Mfethu Mchaka, it's always Mfethu, there's always something that's been happening on and off the field, So yeah, this time around I got something that happened when we signed Benson Mhlongo. So I want to talk about leadership today. When I talk about players coming in and bringing leadership and changes, because sometimes we don't speak about them, and you see the club start winning trophies and the club going in a certain direction, but there's always those individuals. And Alias Goed from the Netherlands that came to join us at Sundowns. So I'll start with Benson. Benson comes in the Johannesburg Stadium, warm up. Coach says, guys, give me 5 laps. So we start jogging. So, as footballers, we like to cut corners. So we don't turn right by the corner flag. So Benson goes right to the corner flag. He comes around. So by the second corner flag, just around the goalpost, this guy says, "Hey, guy, and me, my child. Yazi why ningawina ama-trophy? Nikhatha amakhona, man. Jeez, man. Lucky, likhatha likhona. At least in shiny full lap. So once that happened, I think there was a bit of change now coming into the Paris team under Odi Kroll as well. And I think that's why the team went on to actually eventually win, because he brought in that leadership, that discipline part of things. At Sundowns, Alias Foot came in. When he came in, I was like, you guys are too soft. You guys are too soft. You're like one soft. If there's somebody makes a mistake and you don't want to bash him and tell him because you're thinking he's going to be upset. No, on the field of play, I can even call you by other names, and you mustn't feel like it's a personal thing. You guys must grow up, man. And we were like, yeah, I think we finally have an alias Hoots. We have a player that's gonna tell it as it is. Because in Kadaka, sometimes we take things to the heart. So yeah, that's the one of that.